What's up, guys? Just wanted to make a quick video to kind of share something with you that I experienced over the past weekend. I was at my brother's house visiting family in Wisconsin. I was in his garage and I looked around and I was like, man, you got so much space to do so much in this garage. You could get maybe a four-wheeler, snowmobile. Like there's just so much space in his garage. And then it kind of hit me. The Lord trying to show me something that in order for us to receive a blessing, to receive something new, like for example, in that instance, a new bike, a new motorcycle, a new four-wheeler, or maybe even a bigger truck or whatever it might be, in order for him to receive that gift, everything had to be cleaned out. Everything had to be cleared out. You have to have the room in order to receive it. So in that moment, I was kind of pondering on that for a minute where we have to, in order for us to receive a blessing, specifically from the Lord, we have to clean things out. That might be like bad habits, that might be certain situations where we just have to get rid of the old in order to receive the new. And the Lord always wants to bless us, but there's some situations where he can't bless us because if he gives it to us, we have no room for it. We might think we have plenty of room for it, but when God sees us, we don't have any room for it. Whether that might be from old habits. If I give you a blessing now, you'll end up losing it within a year. Or you might it might not even become a blessing. It might become something harmful for you because you weren't ready for it. A good example of that would be you want to bless your child with a new car. If you had the ability to purchase a new car and give it to your child, you would love to give your child a new car. But your child might only be 6 years old. That child is not ready to receive the car because if he did or she did, obviously it wouldn't be good. So sometimes we're not necessarily ready to receive whatever blessing the Lord might have for us. And that can also even reflect on making room in our home, getting rid of like stuff that we don't even need no more and giving it to someone else that is in need. Blessing someone else with something that was just been sitting around the house and taking up space. How are we able to receive something new if we don't have no room to store something new? My brother was taking me around in Wisconsin where he lives and saw a lot of the old historical buildings like schools that were built from early 1900s that don't even have AC in them. And I was just thinking like, man, that's so cool that everything has been upkeep so much that they can still use the building for what its purpose is, but yet it's too difficult to put a whole new AC system in there. It might be too costly for the school to do it, whatever the case might be. But going around there, just seeing all the homes and everything hasn't changed since I've been there when I grew up. So 40 years, like everything is still the same. And believe it or not, all those people are still the same too. Everybody's still going to the same places, doing the same very things they did when I was a kid. Or even more importantly, the people I hung around with as kids are doing the things that we saw adults doing in those days. Either that might be at the bar or whatever it might be. When you look at that and you ponder on those things and you ponder on like there's really no change. Like people aren't changing themselves. People are not taking on something new to create a different lifestyle for themselves where they follow the footsteps of others they saw before them and taking on the same situations and whatever cases it might be, the difficulty of that lifestyle upon themselves as well, but might be seeking the Lord for a new lifestyle, something new in their life, maybe a new job or a new circumstance, a new home. But in order for us to do that, we have to change who we are currently, whatever that might be, like the worldly things and desires in our lives, and just kind of pivot and focus on what the Lord has for you, what the Lord wants to give you. And more importantly, this as well. This was a big one for me, and this helped open my eyes to a lot of the Lord's blessings and whatever he has upon my life personally. What I saw was sometimes God wants to bless you with something, and he'll show you something, and you will be like, no, Lord, I don't, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this over here. Or I wanted this because if I get this specific thing, it will help me in so many ways down the road. And then you end up missing the actual blessing that was there for you because You're so focused on something that wasn't meant for you. Now you're missing the actual blessing that was meant for you, that would lead you down a path that is so much better than the one that you were, you know, your first intentions were, that you wanted that specific item or whatever, home, car, whatever it might have been, or even a job. A lot of us get hung up on a specific job or career type that we want because we feel it's going to lead us down this path of blessings for our family, generation, and wealth, or whatever it might be. And the Lord's like, no, I have this for you. But then you're taking your eyes off of what he has right now for you and putting your eyes on that you're missing the absolute blessing in here. When you receive whatever the blessing is right here, just take it on the faith and just be like, I trust you, Lord. Even though I don't understand what this is, I don't understand why this would be better for me than whatever I want over here. And taking that on and putting that faith, it just opens doors for him to do other things in your life. It opens doors for him to help you and to build you and work on your character, where he can use you more throughout your life to build his kingdom. And the more you understand that, to free yourself, to give up all your worldly desires and certain things, it frees yourself up for him to use you. Now, don't get me wrong. The Lord wants to bless you abundantly. The Bible tells us the Lord wants to bless you abundantly. But in order for him to bless you abundantly, are you able to give up everything and free yourself from everything, whether that be career-wise or whatever you have your heart set on, to free yourself up with everything, that he can start pivoting you and positioning you into situations where you can be a blessing, but also become a blessing for other people, that he can bless you so you can be a blessing to either your family, your friends, your loved ones, strangers that you may not have even met before, that are certain out there waiting for you to become this blessing so they can be a blessing as well. And when you free yourself up in such a situation, the Holy Spirit will fill himself within you so much so that you become a lighthouse to everybody else out in darkness. Your light shines so bright that people in darkness will start finding themselves gravitating to you, like being pulled by you. And whatever that might be, because you might have certain things that you can bless them with, either knowledge, even finances, or whatever, clothing, things that you have in your home that you don't even use anymore. I think a lot of us get so tied up on certain things that we want for ourselves. And it's understandable. Some of us work so hard for many years to build something, a lifestyle that you want, or to provide your family in a certain way because you grew up in a much more stressful or difficult upbringing. You didn't have a whole lot when you were growing up. So you want to work hard and you want to provide for your family so they can have this lifestyle that you wish you had when you were a child. And we get so tied up and work so hard day after day trying to accomplish these goals, trying to meet this financial desire most of us have, that we end up blocking the Lord out. We end up putting God in our back pocket and just running forward to whatever we're doing and not really giving total faith and devoting our lives to him, because he wants you to have those same things too. He wants to give you those same desires that you feel in your heart to provide for your children, to give that lifestyle to them. He wants to give it to you because you're his child as well. You are a child of God. He wants to bless you the same exact way. But he can't do it if your life is full of stuff already, if it's already full of things that either shouldn't be there or full of bad habits or just stuff from the past that you're holding onto that you have to clean out and just get it out. Get it out of your life. Let stuff go so you can be this new person that God can use you for. I kind of always envision myself like being a tool in the Lord's tool shed. Like I just want to be a tool that can be a multi-purpose tool that he can just grab out of the tool shed and use it in the world and get the jobs and get whatever jobs he has set up, get them done. Just grab the tool and get them done. That's kind of how I envision myself. But the only way to do something like that is you have to be completely free of everything that would hold you back. And that can even be debt. Like debt is one of the worst things that will hold you to the ground. Debt is one of those things that'll grab you by the foot and hang on to you because you're just tied into trying to figure out how in the world are you going to get out of debt. Every week, either living paycheck to paycheck, you're trying to figure out how in the world am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to get this done? Or something happens, getting laid off, car breaks down, a family member gets sick, and all of a sudden you're just stuck. You're stuck with all this financial debt. You're stuck with all the problems, the burdens, and everything's just pressing down hard on you. Like, how could you possibly free yourself to be useful to anyone when you're in that situation? Most of the time you find yourself, or you find your friends just starting to pull back, even close people in your life that normally talk to you, and they start hearing you, the difficulties that you're going through because you have nobody else to talk to. So you just share a couple of things just to hopefully be able to get that burden off your chest and express yourself in some type of way to share that and not hold it in so much that when you do that, you find yourself, your friends start backing away. No one gives you a phone call no more. It's like you're contagious, and all of a sudden nobody wants to talk to you because they're afraid they're going to get the same thing. So how is that possible for you to go through something like this and be able to become something that the Lord can use in this world? Well, first things first is, just have faith and pour yourself out to the Lord. Let him know what you need in your life, because he already knows what you need in your life. He knew from the day you were born what you were going to need in your life. But the one thing he says, he will always provide. He will always provide everything you need. Now, it's not necessarily material things or things of excess all the time. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But he promises you will always have what you need. Just like the birds in the sky will always find food every single day. How much more important are you to him than the birds in the sky? He will always provide, but it is up to us to take things out of our own hands and give it to him and understand no matter what I'm going to go through, even if it gets worse where I'm at right now, if I give it all to him, and even if it gets worse and worse and worse, I'm still going to have a place to stay. I'm still going to have food on the table. I'm still going to be provided. He will provide miracles in my life to make sure that things will get provided. And he will do that. That's his promise in the Bible. He will do that. But the problem is, a lot of us do this. We give it to God, and we're not seeing nothing happen. It's a day, 2 days, maybe a week goes by, nothing. And then you start stressing out. You're like, maybe it's the sin in my life. Maybe I'm not connected to the Lord. Maybe the Lord doesn't see me like he says in the Bible. Maybe we don't have this loving connection. I don't know why he's not fulfilling what I need. And then we take it back. You take whatever he gave to him, you take it all back, and you start going right back to where you were before, trying to figure everything out, stressing about everything, doing things you probably shouldn't do that end up costing you more money and put you in a worse situation. The thing is, it's all about your faith, having faith that he will provide. And sometimes he might take a little longer. Sometimes in our lives, it's like this, boom, the prayer gets answered, you get what you need, and you're just skipping away with a smile on your face that the Lord provided. But also sometimes it takes a while, and he could be just testing your faith. You can be testing your faith to see, will you stay faithful? He's going to turn up the heat a little more. Are you still going to be faithful? Are you still going to put your faith in him, knowing he'll provide, he'll take care of it? And I can tell you from experience and many others, if you stay faithful, if you stay consistent on his word, if you read his word and just keep seeking his face and praying, one day that miracle will come. But it will be such a big miracle in your life that everybody around you will be in awe because of it. And they'll know it's from the Lord. And sometimes the Lord wants to use those testimonies to reach out to people that have doubt. Reach out to people who are going through those same situations and think it's impossible, don't believe in God or anything. And then they hear your story of how difficult your life was and how many years you spent in this situation, or however long it might have been, and this road that you took. and God took you out of it. Now you live a happy, fulfilled life and you're sharing the gospel or whatever it might be. They hear that, they come to you with questions, and then now they have an open mind to hearing what the Lord has put on your life. You become a walking testimony for the Lord. But the most important thing is don't take back what you get from God. What you give to God in prayer and ask for him to bless you financially, a job, whatever it might be. We are called to do our part. We are called to go to work. We're called to do things that we can physically do. But we got to give everything to him to do the supernatural for him to do. And that's the faith that he wants from you, to know that he can supernaturally fulfill what you can't do. Don't take it back. Whatever you give to him, don't take it back and sit there and try to figure it out yourself and be mad at God because he didn't answer a prayer or whatever your situation might be. It's been too long, Lord. You're not doing anything, and then you take it back and try to figure it out yourself. It would always get worse. It will always be more difficult. Just have faith, be steadfast, and just hold on to his word. And I promise you, at some point, you will see a miracle in your life, and you will become a walking testimony and a lighthouse to others in darkness.